No amount of reading about art can replace the act of actually experiencing, seeing, and making judgments about art for yourself. Paradoxically, I took that opinion from a book, which was by Antonio Morelli, who's a great art critic, whose works I recommend. If you're interested in a sort of systematic world history of art, Hegel's Aesthetic is the best I've encountered. If you're interested in art history, it depends on which period you're curious about. If it's Greek sculpture, I highly recommend Winckelmann. If it's Italian Renaissance, if you just want a secondary source narrative history, Lanzi's History of Painting in Italy is great. Also, maybe even better is, and much shorter, is Kugler's Handbook of Italian Painting. If you're interested in primary source material, Vasari's lives are excellent, but more piecemeal. They're individual biographies. And I've already mentioned the autobiography of Benvenuto Cellini, which I think really brings you into the mind of an artist at the time. Other primary sources, depending on what specific school or period you like, Lodovico Dolce's Aretino is Venetian. If you're interested in Mannerism, Lamazzo. If you're interested in Baroque, Bellori. If you're interested in sort of the European theory of painting, the first work is Jonathan Richardson's Theory of Painting, which is really great and kind of gives you a framework by which you can evaluate works of painting. That torch was taken up by Joshua Reynolds, also very insightful, but I think it reaches its sort of best in Anton Raphael Mengs, who was himself a painter. Apart from that, if you're just interested in sort of the view of a non-artist critic, I highly recommend both John Ruskin and Walter Pater. John Ruskin is much more loquacious. He's a beautiful prose writer. You have to sift through a lot of dross to get to the good stuff, but the good stuff will really be things you never forget and will really form your view about art. Walter Pater is more of an aesthete, kind of like has these short essays where he's being very imaginative, but I highly recommend him, especially on the Renaissance. There's a great essay on the Mona Lisa and on other figures of the Italian Renaissance.